Okay, good evening, everyone. All right, I want to say good evening to everybody on Facebook, everybody on Instagram, and everybody on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. If you are catching this on a replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments. Okay, so this evening I want to talk about excellence. And I bet some of y'all thought, oh, she's not being consistent. She is not going live. I am live, y'all. I am making it in on the tail end of the day. Okay. So, yes, I am here. I'm to be with you this evening. And this evening, I want to talk about excellence. So, I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to excellence, and it's so crazy. I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw something on Bruce Lee just now. And it was talking about how Bruce Lee was able to actually punch faster than film could record at that time. I don't know if the recording speed of film has changed. It probably has since he made his movies. But anyway, at the time, he was able to punch faster than film could record him. Just think about that. That's crazy. It said he was able to do 8 punches per second. Like, that's insane. 8 punches per second. It also said he was able to jump. And he was a small man, right? He was able to jump 8 feet from a standing still position. 8 feet from a standing still position. If I were to jump right now from a standing still position, I think I might be doing good if I got 3 feet off the floor. And that might I might need some shoes with some air or something, some foam in them or something like that. So it made me think even more about excellence. And I'm going to tell you, as I started this journey as a content creator, I thought a lot about excellence. Because when I first started, and that was not that long ago, I've been actually being a content creator for years and years and years, but there was no money in it, and I just did it for fun, posting on my social websites. But as I started to endeavor to do it, not only full time, so I gave up the job that I was doing at the time a little while back. And I was blessed. It wasn't a job I had to do, but it was a job I chose to do. And I said, this is the job that I want to do, that I feel called to do. I gave up my other job and started devoting myself full time to content creation. And the content creation has grown by leaps and bounds in the past couple months. Everybody is a content creator now. Everybody is trying to make money or making money as a content creator. And it took me a little while to get my mind around what exactly is content creation. And I decided that if I was going to endeavor to do it, that I wanted to do my best. I wanted to be the best that I could be at what I was doing. The way I was raised, my father always told me, if you are not going to do your best, then don't bother. Don't bother to show up. Don't bother to do the job at all. And that's the way I was raised. And so I was thinking about how I'm so thankful for the way I personally was brought up, in the sense that my father was an entrepreneur. He was what would be considered a large business owner now, but I think they classified him way back in the day as a small business owner. Excuse me, my throat. This was like over 30 years ago. That's how he was classified for the particular business that he was in. But he definitely nowadays would be considered a large business owner. But anyway, when I'm just going to tell you a little bit of that story to get to my point, a little bit of his story. My father had started off, and I think if you watched yesterday's live, you heard me say that he started off, and this is important to the point of the story, being born in Appalachia on a dirt floor, came out of his mother, landed on a dirt floor. Um, he taught himself how to speak in the sense of where he came from in the mountains. There was a very strong dialect. And he knew that he needed to be able to speak in a certain way in order to do the things that he wanted to do in his life. And he was 100% self-motivated. So when my father was born, my parents are older, excuse me, and so there were not the things that exist today. Today, if you want to be a small business owner, you can go to classes, you can go to conferences, you can have a mentor online, you can get a small business loan, you can, like everything. There was nothing back then. There were not examples, for little black boys, definitely not, of how to go about being successful. So he figured it out. He figured out a formula for himself, and he took a job at a local country store and told him, I'll work for free if you allow me to listen to your radio. I'm sure the owner thought, that's bizarre. Sure, I'd love that help. Listen to my radio. Because back then people couldn't even afford radios. So radios were very unusual for people to have. If you're wondering, like, radio. So it's very unusual that people back then had radios. They were definitely considered a luxury. And so he wanted to learn, because obviously everyone around him spoke the same way he did. He wanted to learn how to speak the way people on the radio spoke. And so he would listen to the radio and train himself on how to copy those speech patterns. And then subsequently, he put himself through college. He worked 2 jobs to put himself through college. There were not, student loans back then. They did not exist. You wanted to go to college, that was typically for the wealthy. And so, and he was not wealthy, and nor were his parents. And so he worked 2 jobs to put himself through college. And he said that he went to college in Ohio. And if you all know anything about Ohio and Ohio winters, you know what I'm talking about. And he said he did not have enough money left over to buy himself a coat for the winter in Ohio. And so he wore sweaters. But that is how committed he was to bettering himself, getting an education, and pursuing his goals. And so he started off as a teacher. And I don't know if he did anything else before. I don't think he did before he went to Bethlehem Steel. And if you know anything about Bethlehem Steel, which you probably do not, but back in the day, Bethlehem Steel was a king. Like, it would be like if somebody said, how big is Microsoft, or how big is Apple or Google, or someone like that. And so nobody thought that Bethlehem Steel could ever go under or be toppled. But my father worked his way up the ladder in Bethlehem Steel. And how he did that was he would take assignments to go to different cities and states that other people would not sign up to go to. He would say, sure, I'll go. Sure, I'll go. Sure, I'll go. Because his attitude was, wherever I go, I'm going to not only curry favor because I'm willing to do the job that other people are not willing to do, but I'm going to also learn while I'm in whatever position they put me in. And so we moved around, like every 2 years, we'd move around to somewhere different. And he was working his way up the ladder there. Well, he came to my mom one day and he said, Bethlehem Steel is going to go under. And my mom was like, oh, you're crazy. Of course, it's not going to go under. If you had told anybody in the country at that time, they would have said the same thing. You're crazy. Bethlehem Steel cannot, like the Titanic, it cannot be sunk. And so sure enough, long story short, Bethlehem Steel did go under, but he left prior to that point. And he told my mom, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a construction company. And my mom was panicked. And at the time, I didn't understand why my mom was panicked. My dad said to me, Tish, what do you think about me starting a company? And I said, oh, I think it's a great idea. I'm little now, like I'm 8 or something. I don't know. No, I don't know how young I was, but I was pretty young. And so I said, you'll be great because whatever you do, I was definitely older than 8. But anyway, I said, whatever you do, you are successful. You will be successful at it because you're the hardest working person that I know. And he was. And so he said, thank you. And my mom was panicked and I didn't understand at the time because my dad said, I need all the money that we have. I need all of our savings. And my parents were very good stewards with their money. And he said, I need everything. And so the way my mom saw it was, I've worked all these years, and if you're not successful, I know you think you're going to be successful, but if you aren't successful, then we will have lost everything that we worked all these years to save for. And but my mother was a very supportive wife, and even though I know she didn't agree with it, she did agree to him starting a business. And he went ahead and started his business, and he was wildly successful, wildly successful. And I can attribute all of that, in my opinion, to my father's work ethic. Um, and my father was the type of person who would get up at 5 a.m. He would come home at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., more like 7 p.m. And, he would make sure we all ate dinner together. He would make sure he spent time with me. Think about how long a day this is. He would make sure he spent time with me. He would make sure that he gave me whatever financial lesson he was going to give me that day. And then he would spend time with my mom before he went to bed and did it all over again in the morning. When he was out in the field with his iron workers. So, there was the business end in the office of running the business. And then also there was the business end out in the field with his iron workers and his welders and all those people. He would go out there in the field and he would give them one-on-one time. Everyone felt like they got 100% of him. He was very involved in all aspects of his business. He believed in excellence. He believed in either you do it all the way and you do it all the way right and you do it all the way to the best of your capabilities, or just don't bother to even show up and do it at all. And that's something he instilled in me. So I, as a child, was very lazy, and it was just something that was in me. I was lazy. And that was not going to work being Dick Hancock's daughter. And so he would give me chores and things to do. And I would have to do things with my father on the weekends as well. So on Saturday, people would be going out and having fun or whatever. And I would be definitely the first half of my Saturday, and I do mean the whole half of my Saturday, I had to do something with my dad, whether that was hand washing the cars. And not that he couldn't afford to take them to a car wash, but he wanted to teach me how to hand wash and detail a car precisely and exactly. And what I mean precisely and exactly, I mean precisely and exactly. He would knock down stuff just so, we could build it, or, or we would what I like to call intensive gardening. Like people now garden for fun and it's relaxing. We didn't garden for fun. Like it was intensive gardening. Or I would go to his office, and instead of hiring somebody to clean the office, I cleaned the office. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this man? Why is he doing this to me? I'm scrubbing out coffee, mugs and containers and emptying trash and vacuuming and all this stuff. But what he was teaching me was not to be lazy, because he saw that I was lazy and he was teaching the laziness out of me. And if I didn't do something to perfection, I had to do it over again. And I had to do it over and over and over and over again until it was perfect. And all that to say, I'm so thankful for what he did and what he taught me, because that level of discipline would not have been in me naturally. Some people are naturally disciplined and they're amazing and I'm in awe of them. But I'm not someone who was naturally disciplined. But what he did by doing that, and me having jobs subsequently after that, because there were a lot of people who, were wealthy and had children, and their children didn't have to get jobs. But I got jobs. And by getting jobs, I learned further how to work hard. Here's a funny story, just a little funny side story. Um, and maybe I'll do a live one day on the way he disciplined, which was hilarious. But a funny side story is he and my mom went to Europe. Okay. At some point when I was in high school, they went to Europe. They left me behind because I had school or whatever. And my dad they had 3 cars, and one was my mom's, one was my dad's, and then one was like this rare car that they only made so many of. And it was kept in the garage, and it was only taken out on the weekends, and he would like drive it. This was a car I was not allowed to wash. Or maybe I did wash that car. I don't remember. But anyway, he would drive it like we would go get ice cream at the ice cream parlor or something like that. But anyway, it wasn't like a daily drive car because it was, there was only so many of them that had been made. So anyway, I had my eye on this car. Let me tell you, since he bought this car, I had my eye on this car. I wanted to drive this car. My dad was not letting me anywhere near that vehicle. And so when they went away on vacation, I think they had been gone. Like they probably were not even on the plane yet. Okay. And I called all my friends and I was like, Hunty, my daddy done left. My mama done left. I'm going to find these car keys and I'm going to come pick y'all up. Okay. Oh my goodness. So I like hunted the house for these car keys and I obviously eventually found them. I found the car keys, opened up the garage. Now, if I knew my father and if I had had a brain, the first thing I would have known is he checked the mileage and wrote it down before he left. Duh. Okay, so he was going to know if I touched that car. That was the first thing. But I'm young, I'm dumb, and all I can see is me looking good in a drop top, driving around town with my friends, cruising Melrose Avenue. Okay, I'm like going to be this stuff, right? So I get the car keys, get in the car, back out, headed to my girlfriend's house. No, she's in an apartment. I'm headed to my girlfriend's apartment, okay, off San Vicente. Now, this is so funny. Okay. Her apartment had a driveway that was narrow, okay? And it was long and narrow, and it went back like this, and then it went to the side, back, and then back like this. I could not back up in that driveway right now as a 48-year-old woman. But when you're young and you're dumb and you're on the adrenaline of a stolen car, you think you can do anything. So I take my daddy's car, got the top down, I'm honking, I'm out back. And instead of parking out front and just letting her walk to the front and get in the car, I'm going to be big stuff. And I'm a reverse into this driveway, drive backwards at 30 miles an hour in a driveway that goes boom, 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 boom. Okay? I'm going to do that. Child, I've been in this car now probably for, I don't know how many minutes, 30 minutes. I'm reversing down the driveway at 30 miles per hour. And I tear the side of the car off. Okay, and let me tell you how crazy I was. I tore the side of the car off. The mirror is hanging like this. Okay, it's hanging like this. And everybody in the car was just like, you know, and I was like, ain't no need to cry over it now. I said, my daddy's going to kill me. So if my daddy's going to kill me, we are going to have a good time. We are going to go cruising. And I sure did. I went cruising down Melrose. We had a great time with the mirror hanging off, side of the car all scratched up. But I was like, what's done is done. But anyway, and then I went home and I parked that car back in the garage, shut the garage door, and was like, we'll deal with that later. Up to now, that was my attitude that I had about things. We'll deal with that later. So, needless to say, my dad gets home from Europe. Now, this is before, like the whole real, and before like cell phones were really a thing, and before you had all this automated stuff or whatever. But my daddy gets home from Europe and he says, hi, how was everything? And I'm like, great. And by the way, I wasn't home by myself. We had a housekeeper. She was there with me. So I wasn't like a teenager left by myself while my parents went to Europe. But anyway, I had told her, don't tell my dad. And she was like, oh, I don't need to tell your dad. Like, dummy, he's going to find out. First thing my dad did when he got in, set down his bags, went to the garage, opened up the garage door. No, I'm sorry. This is not correct. This is not correct. My dad did not come home at the same time as my mom. So he had a business trip he had to leave for right after. So he didn't come home. So my mom came home and my mom's like, how'd everything go? Whatever. I didn't tell her. I'm like, it's fine. I'm getting sick. Like days are past. I'm getting sick to my stomach because I know she doesn't care about her. She's not checking on the car. She didn't know. But I'm getting sick to my stomach. And I finally tell her. And my mom was a very calm woman. Like she was very, and she just said, my father is the one who brought the fire. And she just said, oh, yeah. She said, I've got to tell him. Like I was like, don't tell him, or just get the car fixed, before he gets home. And my mom was like, oh, I can't do that. And so now I have to wait for my dad to come home. And I'm getting like, I'm nauseous. I can't enjoy my life because I'm so sick, because I'm worried about what my father is going to do to me. I actually thought he was going to get out a gun and shoot me. I like really thought he was going to kill me. And so he comes home from his business trip. He's like, how was everything? Good to see you, blah, blah. Goes straight to the garage, opens the garage door, looks at the car, comes back in the house, doesn't say a word to me. I don't know if my mom had told him. Maybe they had a phone call and she had told him, or if he was just seeing it for the first time himself, but he didn't say a word to me. Didn't say a word. He didn't say a word for a couple days. The poor man was probably so angry that he knew if he spoke to me, he was going to choke me out. So then he says to me, we're sitting around the dinner table and he says to me, okay, summer was coming up, and he says, okay, you're going to be getting a job this summer. So I want you to start looking and putting in applications. And I was like, okay. And he said, so you're going to work, full time, 40 hours a week. And he said, and for the entirety of the summer, your entire paycheck is going to come to me to fix the damage that you did to the car. So I want you to imagine this. I had to work and do a good job and keep my job every single day, basically. I had Saturday and Sunday off, but Saturday he made me work for him of that summer. And I had to pass every single solitary paycheck to my father. Can you imagine working? People would be like, Tish, can you go to the movies? Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go here. I can't go anywhere because I don't have a dime, because every single solitary paycheck went to him. I don't even know how much it cost to fix that car, but it was much more than whatever I made for the whole summer. But more importantly, the point is, the man came home, put the car in the shop the next day. The car was out of the shop in a week. So I'm looking at a perfectly restored car. You done already paid for the car. But I still have to work the whole summer in order to be taught a lesson. That was another part of my growth, another part of my excellence. another part of learning to pay for what I do and the value of my work. Okay, so that was something, it was a funny story that happened to me one summer. But point being is, I'm thankful for the lessons that I was taught that helped me learn that when I pursue something, I need to pursue it with all my heart. I need to do 100%. I need to put in 110%. I need to work until I don't feel like working. And then I need to find something in here within myself and work some more and put in those hours and not be satisfied with myself unless I'm doing my best. Now, my rate of getting to where I need to go, excuse me, may be slower than some other people's. They may find it easier or more natural. I'm older. We just really, as older people, some of some of y'all older people are like, when it comes to the internet and technology and all that, I'm not really one of them. So I have found some of the things that I've needed to learn to be a little bit harder and take a lot longer than they would for my kids or somebody in a generation younger than mine. Um, but I am committed to excellence in what I'm doing. I've decided to be a content creator. I am committed to excellence being a content creator. I know that I will be successful because I know I'm putting in the time, I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the research, I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my self confidence, I'm investing in my education by taking courses, spending my money taking courses for the different things that I am pursuing. I am investing in myself by having a mentor. I am investing in myself by doing daily affirmations. And so these are all the things that go toward excellence and finding and achieving excellence. A lot of people out there, although I will say that I'm very blessed to be surrounded by friends, and mind you, the majority of them are on Facebook. Okay, these are Facebook friends. These are internet friends who are wildly supportive, and groups that I'm in. And these people are wildly supportive and they are committed to excellence as well. But there are a lot of people out there that they do not know how to pursue excellence. They know what they want, and they want it yesterday, and they work hard for a little bit, and then they don't see success, and they get discouraged and they give up, and they say that must not have been for me. And I want to remind and encourage all of you that excellence is for everyone. Excellence is something, though, that you are going to have to work hard for every day. Let me give you an example. Everybody loved watching Kobe Bryant. Everybody loved watching Kobe Bryant perform and do his job. And he was excellent at it. But nobody understood the fact that Kobe would get up at 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. and he would be there before his team practice, and he would be there after his team practice, and he would be practicing on the weekends, and he would be practicing at night because he wanted to be the best at what he did. And when he became the best at what he did not stop working just as hard as he did before he had it. He did not say, well, you know what, I'm on top now, and just float on that. The same thing can be seen when you look at Michael Jordan talking about his conditioning and what he did to stay at the top and to get to the top. Michael Jordan in high school was kicked off of the basketball team or let go or something like that. They told him, he wasn't good enough to be on the team. And that would have stopped, a lot of people would have stopped right there. Nobody saw it in him at that time that he was going to be the greatest of all time. And let me tell you something, and it was just a word of encouragement for a lot of you out there. You may have family members or friends that you know, like in real life, we'll call them real life people, that do not see the excellence within you. They may have seen that you may have failed at something in the past, or they may say, "Well, you're just this or you're just that," and you really think you're going to go out and make this money, this internet money, or you really think you're going to be successful at this endeavor. And do you know how many small businesses fail? And they may give you statistics to that point or whatever. But let me tell you, one of the first things you have to see and seek is excellence within yourself. Because if you do not have that vision, and you do not have that vision in a strong manner, let me tell you, people will talk you out of your vision. People will talk you out of your vision. They'll be very quick to talk you out of your vision. I can think of, like, I have family members who see me as I'm just, I failed in life because I did not become a businesswoman, because I chose to have a bunch of kids, because I chose to stay home and raise those kids. And that was my priority. That was my life's work. And because I chose to homeschool. And so I'm like a second class citizen to them. I am less than in their eyes. And they don't see me as being successful. Well, I feel that I'm wildly successful in what I chose to do, which was raising my children. Wildly successful. But they don't see that. That's not their vision of success. And so if I were to tell them, and see, I already know better after years of experience, tell them, yeah, you know what? This is what I'm doing right now. And this is what I'm working toward every day. And I'm working really hard. And I'm striving and making steps towards my goals. And I really see how things are coming together. They would laugh at me, and that's okay. And I want you to understand that you can't share your vision with everyone. You cannot share your vision. If you are easily discouraged, you can't share your vision with everyone. And even if you aren't easily discouraged, I recommend not sharing your vision with everyone, because there are people who will actually pray against you. Okay? Sometimes you have to move in silence and do what it is that you're going to do, and just go ahead and do it. And then guess what? Once you become successful, oh my gosh, everybody wants to be your friend. People start gravitating towards you. Those family members tell you, I knew you would do it all along. They'll be on the side of you like this. Oh yeah, I've been there since the beginning. Big supporter and all of that. And you know that they were nowhere to be seen. They were nowhere to be seen. Part of excellence is showing out for yourself every single day in and day out, when there is no crowd, when there is no cheering, when there's nobody there to encourage you but yourself. Waking up, looking yourself in the mirror, telling yourself, hello, beautiful. Today we are going to have a fabulous and productive day. And doing so. That is part of excellence, because the people around you will not always be supportive of you. Let me tell you something. Like when I first started, there was nobody. There was nobody. There was nobody there encouraging me. There was nobody there like, yeah, girl, go ahead, do your thing or whatever. In fact, this is funny. I had sent friend requests to some people. Like I would watch people who were doing what I wanted to do, right, on, social media. And I would send friend requests to them, because I wanted to know more about them and I wanted to study them and that kind of thing, right? So I could imitate what they were doing, because this isn't a field that I'm familiar with. And they wouldn't accept my friend requests. They wouldn't accept my friend requests. They'd check over my profile and decide that, she didn't have anything going for her. I don't want to accept her friend request. Let me tell you, those same people are sending me friend requests now. They're sending me friend requests now. And that's how it works. People don't want to know you. They don't want to get behind you. They don't want to support you until you're doing certain things or you're in a certain position. But also, you have to realize, even when those people come around, and you may say to yourself, oh, wow, I'm doing great now. And these people are attracted to me. I'm attracting the people that I always wanted to attract. You have to understand that some of those people who are attracted to you will be attracted to you, but for a time. But for a time. And then some of those people are going to become jealous of you. They're going to become jealous of you. Well, why is she doing well? Well, why did she get that and I didn't get it? I see it in my groups that I'm in. I see it in my groups. Everybody started off on the same footing. Everybody was like, yeah, girl, this is it. Well, let's help each other do this and that and that. And then some of us started doing better. And some of them did not. And that's not to say that they're not going to do better. Everybody has a different timing. God has different timing for everybody, right? But then they start to get jealous. And then they start to make the comments. And then they start to discourage. I looked at your stuff. Your stuff wasn't anything good. I don't know why. And that kind of thing. So what I want to encourage all of you out there to remember is excellence is something that is hard won. Okay? When you look at Kobe Bryant, when you look at Shaquille O'Neal, when you look at Tiger Woods, these are people that did not come out on the international stage as the best and brightest in their field on day one. Many of them were told that they were not good enough. Okay? Many of them had to struggle and were not naturally great. Not everybody who's great, it is a natural gifting to them. Some people who are great are people who work harder than everybody else. They just work harder than everybody else. Okay. And I want you to remember that. So I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to do your self affirmations. I want you to work hard. Put in the hours when everybody else is sleeping. I work at night normally when the rest of my household is sleeping. I can hear my husband snoring. I love my husband. I can hear my husband snoring while I'm working in my office. And you know what? It sounds so good. And I love my bed. One of my favorite places in the world, people are like, oh, my favorite place in the world is Bali, or my favorite place in the world is so and so. My favorite place, one of my favorite places is my bed. I love my bed. I love my bed. I love my bed. Lord child. And I can hear my husband snoring in my bed when I'm working at night. But you know what? I keep reminding myself, this is the best time for me to work, because during the day I'm a housewife. So and I'm a mother. I have things that I have to do. So I can't just sit in my office and work 6 hours uninterrupted during the day. And so I do it at night when everybody else is sleeping, when it's dark outside, when my bed is calling my name, because my bed actually calls my name, y'all. It talks. My bed talks. But I understand what my assignment is. I understand my focus. I understand my purpose. I understand what I want. I understand my goals. I walk around my house and I have things that I want to buy for my house. I have things that I want to do in my house. I have a list of goals and places I want to go and things I want to do. And I look at that list and I walk around my house and I see the things that I want to do. And I think about my children and I think about the things and opportunities that I want to give them. And that's what keeps me up at night when I get tired and I want to go to bed. That, and also when I get tired at night and I want to go to bed, I also put on one of my mentors and listen to them. And I let them pour into me. And then I feel encouragement and I feel refreshed. And I talk to the Lord and I tell the Lord what I'm trying to do. Lord, please see the effort that I am putting in and give the increase. Give the increase to me, Lord, please. And so I want you all to know, if you're feeling discouraged, because Lord knows any of us who are small business owners, if we are entrepreneurs, we get discouraged. It is hard out there, and you can't always you see some entrepreneurs and they're always smiling or whatever, but you know what? I know a lot of these women and I talk to them on a one-on-one basis. And there are days when they are down. There are days when they want to quit. There are days when they don't see the fruits of their labor. And they're just like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm being bothered. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm giving so much of myself for something that is not turning a profit. But let me tell you, I promise you this. If you put in the work, you will be successful. You will be successful. You don't know when somebody else is watching you. You don't know when you are somebody else's inspiration, when somebody else sees some of themselves in you and they're watching you and seeing you show up every day. And that's an encouragement for them to show up every day. You don't know when that's happening. People will very often not tell you. They will not tell you when they're watching you. When they're watching to see, oh, she said she's going to do this. Is she going to do it? Or, this was one of her goals. Did she make that goal? They're looking because you are inspiring them. And let me tell you, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think you're a nobody. I don't care if you think that you're not doing anything important. It doesn't matter if you're a housewife or you're a businesswoman or if you have a job or if you don't have a job, whatever it is that you are doing, whatever you are endeavoring to do better, someone is watching you and they are counting on you to succeed so that they can keep on going. I know this because I've been there myself and I've had people come up to me and tell me this about myself. Okay. So I know this. I've been there where I've been watching somebody and I'm like, man, I need you to win. I need you to win because I'm counting on you. I'm rooting for you and I'm watching you and I need you to win so that I can continue to get encouragement from you. I've been there. Okay. So I just want you all to remember that. Keep on going. And it is okay if you have an off day. It is okay. You can say, you know what, today I just don't have that. I've had that before where I have a day where I can't seem to find my joy. Have you ever had a day like that where you feel like just can't, you're thanking the Lord for everything he's done for you and everything he's given you. And, you're listening to your praise music, but you just can't seem to find your inner joy. It is okay to have a day and say, you know what, today I'm just going to spend the day praying and praising, praying and praising and singing and encouraging and pouring into myself. And I'm not going to go in front of anybody today because I don't feel like I have the proper energy that I need to give them when I show up. That's okay to have one day, but don't let it become two, because two, it will become three, and three, it'll become a habit. And you'll be in a habit of learning and training your mind not to show up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself every day. Okay? You show up for yourself every day. Encourage yourself every day. Do one thing, and this is what I like to say, and this is how I do my life. One thing. Some of you can do more than one thing, but for those of us who can't, I try every day to do one thing to better myself. One thing. I feel like if I can do one thing, that is 7 things per week. Okay. And then how many is that per month? Okay. So do you get what I'm saying? One thing. It may not seem like a lot. It may not seem that great. But if you can encourage yourself and get one positive thing done per day, I promise you it teaches and conditions and trains your mind to keep on moving forward, and to have wins and achievements and to have positivity, okay? To have a positive response to your goals that you have on your list to achieve, okay? So just one thing per day. Stay encouraged, keep on moving forward. Make sure you have someone pouring into you. I say this every live, and I'm going to keep on saying it every live because I think it's one of the most important things that there is. For me, I read the word, but I also have mentors that pour into me. Their words pour into me, and they give me. It's like going to a pep rally every day, and I'm like, yeah, we can do this. I'm encouraged and I'm hyped and I'm ready to get to work. Okay. And I do that, oddly enough. Most people do it in the morning. because I'm an nighttime person, I do it at night. So when everybody's going to bed around this time, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that's when I get hyped. And that's when I'm like, yeah, let's go, and I try and keep it down in my house because I'm hyped at night. I'm like, let's go, let's get it, so I wish all of you that same kind of encouragement and happiness and progress. And just remember, you're going to get there. You are going to get there. Okay. How did the turtle win the race? He didn't win it by running, did he? He won the race by going slow and steady. And I'm going to tell you that is the best way to win your race, is by going slow and steady, because when you just out the starting gate, then you burn out. Okay, you're going to burn out because you can't keep that level up. That's not realistic. But if you take it slow and you take it steady and you just keep on progressing toward the finish line, that's how you're going to get there. And that's how you're going to achieve success. And that's how you're going to achieve excellence, by being consistent on a daily basis. Okay, consistency wins all the time in all things. Okay, consistency wins all the time in all things. So stay consistent, stay encouraged, keep on pouring into yourself, keep your goals in front of you, because if your goals are in a notebook and the notebook is closed and the notebook is in a drawer, you're not going to see your goals and you're going to lose sight of why you're here. On this side of me, on the right side of me, I have a huge whiteboard. And on this whiteboard, I have all of my stuff written down. And if I wasn't on so many different cameras right now, I would turn you guys so you can see my whiteboard. But maybe I'll post a picture of it on social media tomorrow. But at the top of my whiteboard, it says, done is better than perfect. Okay, I got that from my mentor, Latasha. Done is better than perfect. Concept being is just do it. Don't, paralysis by analysis. Don't think it out to the point where it's got to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, you can't execute it. Because if you are that type of person, then you're going to get very little done. But just put it out there. Put it. It doesn't have to be great. It does not have to be great. That was number one problems with me with doing lives and with doing reels. I was like, it's got to be perfect and the lighting's got to be this, and I've got to come up with all these topics to talk about, and I've got to have it all thought out. And no, and then I wouldn't do anything because it was never perfect, and I never knew exactly what I was going to say, and my lighting was never perfect, and I didn't know if people were going to like the reel that I was putting out or not, or whatever, but then I just started doing it, and then it became really easy. It became really easy because it became a habit. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't like going in front of the camera. I didn't want anybody to see me ever. And people were like, hey, we never see your face, and people were writing to me like, we never see your face. You're always posting like other stuff, but you're never in the stuff yourself. And I was like, oh my gosh, people want to see me, and I was like, oh, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. I don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. You know what? But then I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are all going through the same struggles. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to remember that when you're looking at all these picture perfect people on Instagram, or, your Facebook friend who always posts pictures and her makeup is done and her hair is fly, and, and she's got the nails and she's whatever. I want you to know she's having struggles too. She is having struggles too. She is trying to show up as her best self and put out her best, image or whatever. But she is having struggles too. She's having struggles with her man. She's having struggles with her kids. She's had struggles with her bills. She's having struggles too. And that's all you have to remember. When you feel intimidated, or you feel like I'm not as good as this person, or, people are going to like my content, let me tell you, there are billions of people in this world. Billions of people in this world. So whatever your content is, there is somebody out there who wants to see your content. Because let me tell you, I've been on TikTok and I've been on TikTok lives, and I've scrolled through and I've seen what some of these people are doing who have 10,000 followers. And let me tell you, there are people who literally, this is what their TikTok live looks like. They're sitting there like this. Hair jacked up. Teeth, face, everything jacked up. Sitting there like this. Y'all want to see me blow a bubble? Getting hearts and likes and gifts and all kinds of stuff. I'm not kidding. I'm telling you, it does not matter who you are, what you look like. It does not matter what you do, what you're talking about. There is someone out there who you are their cup of tea. I promise you, there's somebody out there that you are their cup of tea. It does not matter who you are, what you look like, anything else. There's somebody out there who is your cup of tea. Okay, who you are their cup of tea, and they are waiting for you, and they want to see you, and they will support you. They really will, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, because I know y'all are thinking, oh, you got to be beautiful and this and that and all that kind of stuff. You do not. I promise you. Just show up as yourself. Like, people are attracted to authenticity. So just show up as yourself, and people will want to see that. People will be into you. And that's like the best advice that I can give you is just be you, because you can't keep up a version of yourself that's not sustainable, right? You can't keep up like this persona or something like that. That's not sustainable. And that's why some of these influencers, a lot of them just post pictures, and don't do a lot of videos or whatever, because they don't really have a whole personality to go with these images that they post. So just be who you are, and people will support you. People will love you. You will find your people will find you. And once they find you, you will have you'll have your followers, you'll have your crowd. So that's the best thing I can say. So thank you for tuning in. It is now 12:10. It is time for me to get to work. So I will see you all tomorrow. I'm gonna try and come on earlier. I feel so bad when I come on late. I really do. I feel bad when I come on late. I was talking to my husband tonight, and that's why I came on late. And then I decided to deep clean my kitchen. Y'all, I'm not a cleaner. I'm not a cleaner. Like, I have so many things that I am not good at, even after 20 years of doing it. And I'm trying to be better. You know what? Better late than never. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better cleaner. And so I was like, you know what? It's late, but I'm going to deep clean my kitchen. I'm going to do that because I want to look at my kitchen. I want it to be pretty in the morning when I see it. And so I decided to do that. And then my daughter's coming home tonight. And I was like, let me watch her bed sheets and all that for her. And then I was like, let me give my husband some time before he goes to sleep. And so I went and did that. So that's why I'm on tonight so late. But I am going to strive to come on earlier. Like, when my kiddos go to sleep, I'm going to try and come on more when they go to sleep before I do other things. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know, but I'm going to try. But anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. And I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Oops. I'm sorry y'all have to look at me here.